Okay, so
Alright.
we come back in, or we're fading in on this one, no recap, but you currently just agreed to do a job with Xantero. He looks weathered, has a black eye, wasn't very noticeable when you first walked in, and it's not that bad now. Probably had some minor healing magic done, but not enough to fully erase it. And his desk looks covered in paperwork. He is currently unarmored, as in he's not wearing any armor. And he just looks at you. Roderick should be here within a half an hour or so, and we have until nightfall to do what I want, so I plan on visiting him and Maurice in the Temple of Court if you'd like to come. If not, you can go gather your friends, but I need you alone tonight.
You're keeping Maurice in the temple?
Well, after the prison was ransacked, he was given permission to leave. He's not in a state to try and make an escape, so keeping him with healers is probably for the best, for some rather unsavory reasons, but yes.
I have to ask, James, was he bait?
He lifts an eyebrow when you call him his name. What do you mean bait? Was he...
You knew they were after him.
You saw the prison cell he was in.
You know who we're up against.
Yes, but...
No judgment from me, I just want to know.
If he was bait... If he was bait, I would have had more people on guard. People that... If he was bait, I would have had people from the old crew. People under the Plank King that guard the island here to guard him. But...
Now you have reason to strike back.
Now we have reason to make a political move today. That's what our goal tonight is.
Strike back with words as you can strike back with swords. It's the same thing.
It'll be striking with swords. But let's just put that off for now. Give me a moment. And you will see that he has some cabinets behind his desk. And you've seen him go in there before. He keeps alcohol in there, he keeps paper in there. Normal, just, you know, I'm a captain of a guard city shit. But you've never seen him open the one on the far right. And as he goes and opens it, you see a very fine set of plate armor. But it's made to only cover his shoulders and forearms and chest, and just about, just down to his knees to give his legs freedom to move. Made of very nice interlocking plates, and you do see a greatsword there that has its sheath next to it that you almost initially understand is a way for him to be able to open the door and pull it out, ready to fight if anything is needed. And as he does so, you see him sheath the greatsword and set it on the table. As he does so, you see it's a very fine black blade with light red runes carved, but you can't read them as he sheaths it. And he goes and... Yes, what? You could have just said it, man. We're the only two in here.
I know, but you're recording, and I don't want to fuck up. Make it hard to cut shit.
No, you're fine. I will just leave it.
But yeah, let's get Chris in here, because
we'll do that. We'll do that after.
Yeah,
this.
I'll do this first, but that was the favor I was gonna ask.
Yeah. And you see he takes off his normal clothes, and on the left side of his body, he winces. And you see that his entire chest is a purple and green set of bruises. And he inhales deeply, and as he sees you notice, he goes, 3 broken ribs. Those fuckers know how to hit. And he slowly readjusts himself and puts on armor and straps the greatsword to his back.
I just kind of nod at him and go, I've been hit by a few.
Yeah, they're assholes. You had a favor to ask, by the way. Did you say that already?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, let's get going. if you don't mind. I think Xantaro will be arriving at the Marquis's house here soon, so he'll probably lead us to the Temple of Cord.
If we're going to the temple, I would like to ask someone to come along. There's someone I want to introduce.
One of your crew?
Just one of them.
Okay.
I'll meet you at the temple.
He'll like, I take it you know where it is, and he'll give you rudimentary directions to the Temple of Cord because you've never been to the Temple of Cord in Nicodranas.
Val actually doesn't know that there's a Temple of Cord in Nicodranas. This is news to him.
There's a Temple of Cord everywhere in the Menagerie Coast. It's like one of the 3 main gods here.
Yep.
It's in the open quay, which sadly means I'm bringing you guys by the tower, but we're gonna ignore that. You guys don't care about magic.
I know about the tower there.
Yeah.
Let's get our magic friends in.
Hey, Soul, Ben, you and he'll walk you to the front and just give you like a nod and take off towards the open quay. And let's see if Chris can get in here, and that way I can...
So when would this be happening? Because now I have to find Mistress.
She's at Lily's.
I know, but Val doesn't know that.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you could probably guess.
That would be the first place I would go. Because we always go to Lily's first.
I'm writing down timestamps so that way I can make cuts easier later.
Yeah, that's why I asked you in DMs.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, Val's first guess would probably be Lily's.
That's what I'm thinking, because we always go to Lily first, so I'll head there. And if this has happened simultaneously, then I probably made it to Xantaro before they made it to Lily?
No, they made it to Lily before you did, because Xantaro is down here-ish, and Lily's is up here.
Oh, I thought it was the opposite.
No, Lily's is like dead near the center of the Opal Archways, and Xantaro is in charge of the south side of the Opal Archway, so his captain's quarter is kind of central in the south quarter.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it was the opposite. I thought we could always get to Lily quicker than we get Xantaro.
No,
because we always came in the Restless Wharf.
You can get to Xantaro first. You guys just never do it, and the people who go to Lily usually run, while it's usually a walk to Xantaro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're within shooting distance. Xantaro has most likely checked up on the family, and his guard probably goes out of their way to check on the estates after knowing that you guys care about her.
I expect it.
Yeah.
She is the most well-protected child in Exandria.
It does work. I was just putting my headset on. Shit. What? I'm here.
Okay, get in the roll.
So, this wasn't planned, but we were doing Val's solo thing, and I wound up having a minute before going to meet some people, and my whole plan was to see if Mistress would come along to meet these people, and rather than, like, doubling up on visits, Xantaro was like, no, go ahead, go find your party. So I'm gonna try and come find Mistress and convince Mistress to come along.
But Val is pissed as shit.
I know, but this was Val's whole plan.
Okay.
Just roll with it.
I mean, you can straight up just tell him to go fuck himself when he gets to you as well.
You can absolutely do that if you want to, but
so wait, are you going to be
here.
calling everyone in here then?
No, just you.
Just Mistress.
Val just wanted Mistress.
Oh.
Yeah, security's a little tight to try and get the whole party in. Yeah, killer.
Yeah, 100%. But you have to be here to tell me no or to come along and get killed.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I mean, it would be the one time if you're going to make a move, you'd have like 4v1 on Mistress.
Technically, I would, yeah. Except one of those is crippled, one of those works for the city, and one of those is a holy man.
2v1. The one that works for the city is kind of shady morals.
Fair enough.
Hey, the one that works for the city maybe likes me?
I was about to say, probably likes Mistress better because she hasn't been an asshole to him.
And then the other one definitely likes Mistress.
Oh,
Like, as a
100%.
person.
Roderick definitely likes you. Xantoro is like he likes you, but he would side with the ex-pirate.
No. I know where loyalties are, but he'll feel bad kicking my shit. I definitely know where loyalties are, but they'll feel bad.
You highly underestimate how much Xantoro cares at this exact moment. He is angry, but you're right. He probably would feel bad afterwards. His husband would probably yell at him.
Oh.
So I gotta meet that husband. I need to know the dynamic of that relationship.
Who's the top?
There's switches. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But anyway,
let's go so we can play Baldur's Gate.
Me and Jake wasted 15 minutes at the top of this talking about Critical Role.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I for sure know. That's why.
Are you in roll 20?
I'm in my own roll 20 because I was prepping for Uwu.
He has a lot to cut.
I've written down timestamps. It's fine.
So, to catch you up, you are at Lily's, and you've been at Lily's for a minute.
Probably
a hot minute.
Probably by the time Val gets to 3 hours.
Okay.
So, if you would have left Lily's at any point in the past 3 hours, I guess, I don't know how long you spent there, but that's where Val's going.
Why would Val assume that's where Mistress is going?
It's the first stop everybody goes to.
It's partially metagaming, so we can just make this work, and also partially it's the first stop we ever make.
Yeah.
So that would just be his first guess.
Statistically, he is right.
After that, he has no idea where to look.
Probably the bar, and then the cold brew would probably be the next two.
What time of day is it when Val is making this journey?
He'd get to you around 3 p.m.
Perfect. Can I be cooking?
You can be cooking lunch. But
dinner.
It's 3 p.m. Yeah, I guess if you're prepping dinner, yeah. Sorry,
this isn't like a Florida dinner when it's 9 o'clock.
Sorry, I don't eat dinner till 7.
I was also a Georgia dinner.
I was figuring late lunch, but yeah, you know what? I ate lunch today at 4, so fuck off. Your DM feels attacked. Val, as you approach the estate, you notice what Mistress noticed, Mistress and Extra noticed earlier, is the guards at the front seem more at attention, and as you walk up to the front, they do stop you for a second and converse, but you, within a few seconds, you see the little messenger run off, and he doesn't run far. Sitting on the left side of the manor, the Lily's house is on the left side of the estate, and sitting on that side of the manor, you do see a large woman in black plate armor. And as the messenger gets close and whispers something, she gives a look over to you, looks you up and down real quick, and then just nods. And you hear a shout of "He's good!" And
no, he's not.
They step aside, and you're allowed to enter. But
as I pass by her, I give her a nod and I say, "Captain Xantoro sends his regards and his thanks."
She chuckles. I don't work for him, actually. But
I didn't mean to assume, just that he appreciates what you do.
And I appreciate what he does. And you do see that, as you turn left from this vantage point, she's leaning here, but she can see clearly in the front window of the estate, and you can see that Mistress is currently cooking, and that Lily is playing around the kitchen, and Exa is sitting up on the countertop, and they're all just kind of talking and shooting the shit. But you're oh, this is a perfect vantage point to see inside the house.
Right, don't piss her off. I'll go inside.
You do so. Mistress, you hear the door open. Val enters.
I'm assuming I would know, if my back was turned, I'd know instantly it was Val because Lily would notice.
I thought you were going to say because of my fat footsteps.
He stopped and talked to Thea for a moment, And you do have a stupid high passive perception, so probably in like
I'd know anyway.
probably turning to talk to Lily or something, you would have caught him out of the corner of your eye. I wouldn't say he's
This-
necessarily sneaking into the house.
The smell gave it away.
I think you bathed recently. Yeah, you snuck off and bathed in the water in the Fae.
Listen, the stench of lie carries apparently.
No, just iron and blood.
Okay. So then as soon as the door opens, I'm assuming it's him. And I don't turn around.
Stop and talk to Lily.
Val! And she'll run up and like hug your thigh.
You still have the scales I gave you, right?
They're under my pillow. I don't want people to take them away because usually they think the things you give me are dangerous.
Well, that's because the things we give you are dangerous. But we trust you because you're a smart kid.
She smiles like that maniacal little 8-year-old smile. She squeezed your leg. Are you coming? Mistress is making something that smells really good. Apparently it's some type of fish.
I would like to, Lily, but you know all the things that happened recently. I kind of nod back to the yard and back to the woman in plate armor.
The yard is actually looking rather normal. There are still like some scuffs here and there, but it does look like...
Zentoro did mention like a lot of magic, so...
Yeah, he did. It looks like some patches are newer and like more healthy than they usually should be, as if probably they were magically grown back.
Mm-hmm.
But she kind of looks down and goes, The one in the black cloak kept me inside for all of it, so I don't know. It was kind of nice, but a little scary too, those red eyes.
It's nothing you need to worry about, but I have a few things related that I need to take care of.
Okay.
But I'll come visit soon. Still have to get those scales back.
She chuckles.
I'll
They're
get
mine
up.
now, you're not taking them.
All of them has taught you a little too well, I think. I'll get up and just kind of give her a pat on the head as I walk by and go into the kitchen. Excellent.
Hi. I'm socially awkward.
Mistress, I know you're cooking, but can I have a moment?
Why?
I have to talk to you about something. Could it be outside?
Fine. And we go. We walk.
And we walk, and we walk, and we open doors, and we close doors.
The DM was filling up his water.
I'll just walk outside and assume she follows towards somewhere kind of out of the way, so we're a little private.
You are.
Like it's an open courtyard, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, you could walk behind the house if you don't want to be in sight of Thea, but
No, just somewhere off a little ways, so we're not right up on top of somebody.
Yeah.
Every time you say Thea, I think of my Thea, not
It
this
keeps throwing me
level
off.
I know,
20
but
doubt woman.
It does throw me off every time.
yeah, sorry.
Anyway,
Listen,
Yes?
I don't expect you to care. There's someone I would like for you to meet. And I'll explain when we're there. It will make more sense. You have to be there to get the explanation.
only other person here for you is your old captain.
That you know of. But yes.
Of all the times we've been here, there's been 3 people you've cared about.
Like, there's been a few more than 3, considering the group that we travel with numbers more than 3. But I'm not going to argue your point. Would you please come along?
She doesn't know how mad Val is,
Make an insight
or
check.
if he's going to do something weird.
Make an insight check.
I'm working on it. You want me to make it a little better? Okay.
He doesn't. I mean, Bo, correct me if I'm wrong, but he doesn't seem to have ill intentions.
He doesn't have ill intentions. He does still look very, very pissed, but not at you. It's actually, if you remember the way he looked when he threw a chair at Soul, that's kind of how he looks. Really angry, but at somebody else. So it's like an undercurrent. It's a little cliche, but you can see the lightning underneath. You could tell that undercurrent of rage is pretty close to the top. But it's not, it doesn't look like he's going to blow up at you.
I ask for a moment, and I'm going to call Lily over.
Sure, you go and knock on the window, and she looks up at you, and you give her the wave, and she waves to Exa, who then realizes that he's left inside with your cooking food.
This is going to be great.
So, in my DM notes, Exa, make a wisdom check to see if you can cook this food.
Oh no, there's no need. Lily, make that wisdom save, or wisdom check.
No,
because I'm asking her to keep an eye on it.
Oh, okay. So Lily's gonna cook it.
So basically, I'm calling her over. Hey, it's a 29. That's a natural 20 on my dish.
That's true. She did prepare it and start it. Basically, all Lily has to do is make sure it doesn't burn.
You did do that. Lily has to finish the cooking.
No, basically, I'm gonna call her over and I'm gonna kneel down because I'm super tall and say, "Hey, Lily, can you just keep an eye on this? Val and I gotta do something."
Say your last goodbyes.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me?
The only thing I can think of is the fact that Chris stressed she's really tall because she's actually really short.
She's really tall compared to a human 8-year-old.
I meant Mistress is tall because Chris is short.
Oh, fuck.
Right.
Thea was tall too, let's be clear.
You have a type.
Thea was 6'1". I think.
So
6'3"? Something.
I think I can do it. It's almost done. We'll save you some for. Well, I mean, you made enough for 7. X and I will eat it, and we'll save you enough for everybody when they come back.
That sounds good, Lily. Thank you.
So Val, you lead Mistress out of the estate into the open quay. You guys have about, I'd say, like 30 to 40 minutes of walking to get to
the only thing I'll say when we start is that they kept him in the prison on the docks for the longest time. No visitors, no one in and out. He's in the Temple of Cord now. And that's it. Unless Mistress says more.
Can I get from that he got attacked in the big attack?
I'd say that you can assume that if he's been moved out of the high security prison that you've been told he's in to a temple, he's probably not doing so well.
Okay.
So when they ask you to call a priest in the hospital room, they're not doing good. But when they take you to the priest,
Yeah. It's not even when they take you to the priest. When they take you to
He's
the
on a
place,
morphine drip.
he's on a morphine drip and has a trach tube and fluids and
Lorazepam and
Yeah.
atropine.
listen, we're just looking for the next closest kin so we can pull the plug. That's all.
yeah, we just need the document signed, really.
Yeah.
Wow, who would be the child figure on the ship that would say pull the plug?
Ah,
X.
Exo would pull the plug with no remorse. Val's the child on this ship.
Okay.
Uh,
who's the last one left?
No, Toes would be with no remorse.
Yeah, totally no remorse. As you approach the temple, it's not nearly as big or grand as the one in Port Damali. It's maybe 100 foot from side to side and 1 story tall. There is a tower in the back of it that works as like it's not really a lighthouse of sort, but it's structured like one. It's more so like it doesn't work like the lighthouse of the Temple of Melora or the large one in the open quay. It's kind of more like just a symbol to any people who have been here before that court is always watching type thing. It's blue glass around side, so the light on the inside shines through as like a nice crisp blue that would try to emulate lightning. But as you approach the front, you do notice that there are 2 men with heavy armor, and they're not wearing armor of the Concord. They're wearing blue, almost like the same blue that you see Rogic wear. And their symbols on them note in some way that they belong to the temple. And as you approach the front, one of them, a large Goliath man, what business do you have in the temple today?
I give him a really slight head bow and say we're here to see a visitor under court's protection on behalf of Captain Zentaro.
He looks you up and down and looks Mistress up and down. They fit the description. And he'll just, still arms crossed, nod his head for you to go past him.
What's the description? A fucking deer?
I mean,
Yeah, basically.
Hey, you're gonna see a large orc man that has a chip on his shoulder and a deer. Actually, sorry, to be accurate, you're gonna see a tall but scrawny orc man who looks like he has a chip on his shoulder and a deer.
I was going to say a petulant child and a cow with antlers, but...
Yeah, but that's you have to know them a little bit more. Well, I mean, the cow with antlers, not really. Okay, they nod and you go inside. Unlike the Temple of Court that you're used to that has, in Port Damali, that has one big fighting pit in the middle and a couple other ones around it that look like they can be easily cleaned and covered for other surfaces, this one just has one decent one in the center, about 15 feet across. That it's all stone floor, and then it dips about 10 feet down, and you see a sand-covered fighting pit. And you see a couple rooms off to the side, but the one that draws your attention is in the back middle. So, I'm sorry, in the right side middle of the place, you see another 2 men, much larger, or sorry, not much larger build, much slenderer build. Just kind of matching Oladim's usual monkish attire. Both bald heads, tattoos going down from their temples down to the back that looked like lightning. And... Sorry, my sister's here.
At some point, I do want to ask why Val has brought Mistress here, specifically.
I'll explain when we get inside.
Fine.
I will lead her towards the monks, I suppose, if they're the only people that I see in the room.
You do see a couple other people. There's some people in Roderick's similar attire, though different races. You got an elf and a halfling that are both talking in the back with similar, clerical robes. And you do see two people currently sparring in the pit, but unless you approach any of them, the temple seems fairly emptied out.
I'm gonna go to the fighter-looking types and not the cleric-looking types, because I feel like they're guards. And Maurice would still be under guard. I'll just ask them, has Captain Zentoro come through? Or Tortle by the name of Roderick?
They'll look you up and down. They'll look you up and down, and so you're going to the ones fighting in the pit or the ones guarding the door?
Guarding the door.
They both. One of them like steps in front of the door, blocking you two, and the other one kind of very nimbly steps through the door, and appears a moment later and goes, "These are the ones we're waiting for." And they'll both step aside and let you enter the door. So,
What do I see?
as you walk through, you see 4 figures. This room is very small for what you thought it would be, maybe about 15 feet across and 15 feet down. It's very weird because, like, the way it's laid out, you thought that this room would go farther in each direction because of how big the spacing is in between each door. But the first figure you notice is Roderick. He is sitting on a reinforced stool, and he is leaned over a bed and blocking most of your view with his large shell. But on the bed, you do see the feet of a man, and you do see the head of Maurice. Sandy Brown. He's Sandy Blonde, right? Sandy Brown.
I think it's Sandy Brown, yeah.
Yeah, sandy brown hair, lightly scarred face. What looked like it was very tan at some point in time from how leathered it is, but now very pale from spending so long in that prison cell.
Elvish features.
Huh?
Elvish features.
Yeah, Elvish, yeah. But I need to pull up. Why didn't I pull up that doc?
Yeah, I don't have mine up either. I just know he's a half elf or a full elf.
He's a half elf. You do see what should be a pointed ear, but it's actually severed and stitched closed on the top of the right side of his head. And you do see what looks to be a very, very bad black eye, and what probably is broken bone beneath it from how bad it's blackened. Next to him, not being able to look at Maurice, leaning against a wall, you see Zantaro. And Mistress, you would notice that this is the first time you've seen him in full plate armor, and he has a greatsword on his back, and he's not outwardly wearing colors of the Concord at the moment. He's still wearing his base uniform underneath, but this armor isn't Concord armor. And the last person you see in the room is sitting at the end of the bed, and you see a large turtle woman who is wearing just a normal messenger bag at her side and looking like she's currently praying at the end of the bed. But besides that, the room has pretty much been stripped of most amenities. There's just a bed, a decent mattress, and a nightstand.
For half a second, I thought you were about to describe Lilac, and I was going to flip. Is Maurice conscious?
He appears to be slightly conscious.
I'll step in and step to the side and not approach. But I just want to give room for Mistress to come in.
Sorry, try to send me something. As soon as I walk in, I know that Roderick is doing all he can, but I do want to also offer help, healing help.
You'll see the large shoulder man turn. I'm glad you both made it, but That is unnecessary. And he, as you see his face, it looks very, very pained. Come. And he'll turn to the large turtle woman at the end of the bed. Dear, please excuse us for a moment. Some unsavory topics may be talked about. And you'll see the large turtle woman stand up and lean over Roderick, kissing him on the head, and setting a hand down and patting Maurice's hand. And she will make her leave past both of you out of the door.
Can I insight check that to see if it's one of Roderick's family members?
You can. You can probably assume that it may be more than just a family member.
Okay.
But he will look at Mistress and motion to the seat for you, figuring that thou can be a gentleman and stand.
Yeah, I'll stay by the doorway.
And he'll look at you. Come over. You should see. And
I'll reluctly push off the wall and walk closer.
as you both walk around, you do see that Maurice is laying there in bed. His chest exposed, like the blanket's only going up to his waist. And you see that his chest is heavily wrapped, and there seems to be some sort of salve or something underneath it. And that his left arm is there, but looks like the bruising on it, especially to you, Mistress, it makes you think it was probably broken severely and healed, but only to this extent. And you do see Maurice look up, and in a very low voice, Val, it's good to see you, son. Thank you for coming.
Wish I could say it's good to see you too, but not in this condition.
We knew it was a possibility.
I glance at Zantoro when he says that.
Xantaro goes from arms crossed to arms up in the air of dude, do not blame me for this. And
I'll just kind of shake my head at him I won't say it, but I'm not putting blame on you, but we knew it was a possibility.
Maurice will China Pippin, it's not his fault. He did what I asked.
Yeah, I'll nod at that. I guessed it had more to do with you than him.
He did as much as he can to make sure I was safe, and even if I was a shitty condition, I guarantee if I hadn't been there, the attack would have happened much sooner. Though from the reports, we dealt them more damage than they dealt us.
That's good. Let's not stop.
What do you here for? And you'll see Roderick pick his hand up in motion for him to slow down and not try and overexert himself. Yes. How are you? Last we heard, you were going to the Fae nearly 3 days ago, and now you're here.
Well, I'm sure as a man of magical means, Roderick, you understand quick transportation when the time is called for.
Not my forte, but yes.
We went to Mistress's village. We encountered a lot in the Feywild, but one of my crew ensured we wouldn't lose any time. So here we are.
You see Roderick look down and kind of in deep thought for a second before just nodding his head. And Xantaro and Maurice kind of look a little questioning, but don't have the knowledge to understand what you meant.
As for why we're here, I don't really know. And I look at Zentora. I'm here to serve.
Are you still visibly pissed off?
He's calmed down a bit in the presence of all three of them. But he doesn't really hide his emotions too well. He's not on.
How about
There's
you?
something off.
How about you, Mistress? Especially with the comment about all of them.
Confused why I was brought. Worried because of what Roderick said about unsavory topics. But just generally just so confused why I'm here when it has nothing apparent to do with me.
Roger will give you both a look up and down. Val. Is everything okay?
No, clearly not. Maurice is in bed.
Maurice is where he wants to be. Stubborn bastard. And you see Xantaro kind of like chuckle to himself in that like disbelief but agreement way.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that. Lily was attacked. The city was attacked. No, Roderick, everything's not alright.
I meant with you. You forget how long I've trained you. Do not worry about our captain. He's chosen to leave this world on his own accord and not by a noose.
It's not just our captain that I'm worried about.
Then who? Then what?
Everyone. Everywhere. They can get anywhere, Roderick.
Not anywhere, but a lot of places.
I want to make sure they can't get anywhere.
And how do you plan that?
I just kind of gestured to the three of them. What do you mean? Y'all plan?
We've been fighting this war since you were still sitting in that shop.
Which means it's time for you to plan and me to fight. You have the knowledge.
We do. We can help in ways. But if you're going to be hot-headed and run in, you'll just die. So...
If I want to be hot-headed and run in, I would be at a monastery in the Sirius Mountains right now, killing assassins.
And you see that Xantoro and Roderick quickly share a glance. You're going after the Shadow Hand.
It's all we know of right now.
You will strike another tonight. But yes.
And after that,
After,
Mistress's mother is in their grasp. We're going after her.
when you go for the monastery, stay for information. Search, even if you don't read it there, bring it. That place is their information hub in this area. You will likely find documents and records that might prove useful to a greater end. And if Tiavor is correct, we just took out a large portion of their members.
Will they be expecting a counterattack?
No. Probably not. And Zantara will walk up and put a hand on her shoulder. They don't. They've survived so long because it is so impossible to find their monastery.
Impossible?
It's on top of a mountain cloaked by illusion magic. Unless you know its exact location, you cannot find it, and even if you get close, there's other sorts of nature magic that make you turn away.
I can walk you to its doorstep.
They all
of them. The halfling.
and Zantaro or like recline, like he chuckles and hits Roderick on the shoulder and he goes, asshole. And you see Roderick pull out 3 gold coins and put it in Zantaro's hand.
You.
I take it he's no longer one of them?
I mean, I would like to think so. If he is, we're all going to be royally fucked.
I mean, can it really get much worse?
I could be dead.
Yeah, I've seen you in fights, man. You've sometimes tried. Or sorry, that would be Roderick that say that, not Zantaro, because Zantaro hasn't seen you fight.
No, he's just heard about fights.
Yeah.
Your family could be dead. My family. Lily. Mistress's mother.
Roderick looks up.
It could be a lot worse.
Yes, and if we don't act, they might as well be dead anyways.
Which is exactly why I'm here. Point me in a direction, give me a list of names, give me a location. If the monastery is what you want to hit next, we'll go. I will go. I don't know if anyone else will follow, but...
Roderick gives you that 1,000-yard stare that kind of like makes your time on the ship flash through your eyes real quick, almost as saying like time and place. You may go. Let us enjoy this last day with our captain. He's forbade me to bring him back once he goes, and he's forbade me to heal him past what he is now.
Al just shakes his head. You know, going down with the ship is a stupid fucking cliche, right?
Do you know how many times I've died, young man?
No, because you won't tell me any stories.
I told you the ones that made me look good, not the ones that made me look like a stupid fool, running around and ignoring the cautions of my friends. Lilac and I used to get into so much trouble back on Wyatt's ship. Every time you come back, less of you does. It's hard to explain. But at this point, without alienating Roderick or Zantaro, James, I need to be hung. And if I die from an assassination, it makes the Concord look weak. They can't even protect their prisoners that they're using for some high execution. So, yes, I'd rather choose my way to go out and give a middle finger to the Concord as I do it. But
I give Zantaro the smuggest fucking look.
Zantaro just shrugs. I'd rather not die on their terms. And I'd rather you not die because of anger from what happened to me.
I would rather our crew stop dying in general.
We're in a dangerous line of work. How many people did we see die on our crew to stupid attacks from other bandits or monsters when we would go to pick up we'd go to pick up loot? It's not an easy.
We died doing what we wanted to do. We died living free, not living under fear.
I died doing what I wanted to do.
Val just kind of nods at that, like,
Maurice.
I can't argue.
Maurice will look at Zentaro. Help me sit up real quick. And Raj will go to, like, protest, and Maurice will turn to him. I'm dying anyways, bastard. What's a few less seconds? And Roderick will just bow his head, and they'll help him sit up, and Maurice will look you in the eyes, Mistress. So why has this child of my ship, and he'll look at you of like, yes, I meant child, brought you to me?
I still don't know. I've asked him, and I don't know.
I wanted you to meet the man I considered a father. I wanted you to meet the man I tried to model myself after. A captain, a leader.
As you said, sorry, go on.
A man betrayed by mutiny. A man who died doing what he loved.
Maurice will actually laugh when you say captain and a leader, and you'll see him cough up blood into his hand and just kind of like wipes it on one of the bandages. Son, thank you for the respect, but I was not the sole leader of our crew, and I think you should know that. I was a great captain at times, but if I didn't have Roderick and Lilac to keep me in check, a captain isn't just somebody who makes the decisions, it's somebody who listens to their crew, and it took me too long to realize that. The mutiny was my fault as well, in a way. Barn betrayed us because Lilac hated him. It wasn't love or revenge or anything like that. It was Lilac hated him, so I hated him. Not in a way of true hatred, but when he suggests courses of action or when he was brought into the big meetings, his suggestions were practically ignored because I didn't listen to my crew. We're not all perfect. Zantaro left because of too much blood. Roderick refuses to fight because of something that even I don't know. We all have our skeletons, but we loved each other. And the fault was shared when the ship went down.
You could share the fault, but someone had to bring all of them together. Someone had to make the decision after listening.
You know who brought us all together, correct? He was the one person on the ship that nobody hated.
He frowns a little bit in confusion.
He'll weakly pick up his left arm until it pains him, and then he'll just look at Roderick and be like, you're gonna be a leader, patient. Model yourself after the man who talked first before he ever fought. Not the man who made so many mistakes. And Roderick will look at him and be like, you were a better captain than I could have ever been. And they'll just have like a moment of what you feel is a very long argument, very far in the past, that hasn't been let go. And you can see Maurice to you was always this knowledgeable, confident person who always made the decisions and they always seemed like the right one. But you can see him trying to show humility in what he knows is his last hours when his facade doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. I know we've talked about how Maurice was very much a Malcolm from Firefly type.
Yeah,
Where like he wasn't the best, he wasn't the smartest, he wasn't the strongest, he just
did.
knew how to collect everybody who was together and had the
Exactly, and
charisma.
he's trying to reference now that like most of his good ideas and decisions probably came from Roderick, and most of his like daring stuff probably came from Lilac.
He's the sum of all the parts that he collected underneath him.
Yeah, and he's trying to.
Val hasn't realized that. Val still sees him as you collected everyone together. You were smart enough to listen to them or take their suggestions.
And he's at this moment trying to tell you that like it wasn't him.
Like it's dawning on him now. But
it was
that's how he always used to.
It was the crew that made him strong, and in the end, it was his arrogance that ruined the crew.
Yeah. It's just now dawning on Val. That's how he used to look at Maurice. But.
Yeah. Don't ever.
Mistress, for the first time ever, you see as close to tears as you're ever going to see in Val's eyes. He's not openly crying, but like this is the most emotional you've ever seen Val.
How close are you to her? How close are you to her?
You guys are within feet. The only open spot Val could be standing in would be because you're sitting at the foot of the bed, and Xantaro's leaning against the wall at the head of the bed, and Roderick's leaning over the middle, so Val would have to be standing in between Roderick and you. Or like peering like through Xantaro, basically. So Val can say where he is.
I would have stood next to him. If I had to pick between Roderick and Xantaro, I would have stood next to Roderick.
Well, no, I'm saying you're either standing in between Xantaro and Roderick, or Roderick and Mistress.
Roderick and Mistress.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
While you're almost crying, do you ever look at Mistress? Like try to catch her eye?
No.
Or do you just focus on Maurice?
No, he's 100% focused on Maurice and Roderick, whoever's talking at the moment, but it's almost like to him you're not even there now, in the moment.
You would still notice Mistress.
Yeah, but
just by his posture and his like.
He's aware that you're there, but like.
Well, I'm just saying, with her like ability and the fact that she's watching this, you would notice that Val is getting a little choked up. I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not bawling. He's not like actually crying, but
it's paining him.
You've dealt with a lot of pain over these last few days, and your perception is very good at like noticing this. To where, Val's something's happening in his head. Leading isn't all it's cracked up to be, boy. But it's. I would have never given it up for the world. Those seas, these friends, even this asshole over here, fucking never letting me have the moral victory. And he'll like slightly nod to Xantaro, who just chuckles, and he's trying to like laugh off the pain, but you can tell that his eyes are red and that he's himself is trying to hold back tears.
How long does he have?
Are you asking Roderick, or are you just asking me?
Asking to you. Do I need to roll an insight check to see?
Yeah, roll an insight check. Just to like pick up on...
Can I make a medicine check?
Yes, you can. Oh wait, till Mistress's medicine comes in. Look at you rolling
It's
high in
okay.
insight today. Well,
Right.
yeah, guidance 20. Val, you've seen a lot of like wounds in combat before, and his body just looks so broken at the moment that you wouldn't doubt if he died by the time midnight hit. Mistress, you would know that he's on his last hours, and that a lot of what he's doing, talking, and saying is either because of some sort of pain medication or through willpower alone. Like the smile he's forcing himself to have, there's a lot of pain behind it. Well, I guess that would be more Val noticing that than Mistress, but the
Well,
bandage.
with her perception, I'm sure she notices everything I noticed.
Well, insight and noticing like a pain smile. Perception is more so just, I guess, would be noticing broad body language and just
What's your passive insight, Chris? I forgot that's a thing.
Yours +2, I think.
Mine's passive insight is 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you both notice that he's definitely trying to appear happy and just content. And he might even be happy and content with all of you here. But he's also in a lot of pain.
How does Roderick look?
Helpless. Like, he knows
Yeah.
that he could undo this with the snap of his fingers, but he's respecting an old friend's wishes to not. Like, he just is like, this is his bread and butter. He no longer fights. He doesn't want to anymore. He wants to heal and help. But
I'll put a hand on Roderick's shell, basically, where his shoulder should be.
he nods to you, or he doesn't nod, he just like reaches his, you feel the large clawed turtle hand reach up and like set his hand on top of yours briefly, and then it sets back down. I would say we should leave him to rest, but that is pointless, I guess.
I'll look up at Zentoro.
And
What time did you need me?
Night falls at 7, hour walk, midnight. We have to leave here by 7 p.m. at the latest to make sure everything's set up. It's currently about 5. And you'll hear Maurice coughs one more time and wipes the blood on his shirt and goes, "Oh, Maurice, my last favor for that time we spent in Port Zoom. I name Val captain of the Whispered Dagger, and I expect you to free the ship." And
Val just shakes his head and looks between the two of them.
Zantaro like wipes, like visibly starts crying and just like pinches his eyes to like remove the tears and goes, "You were always a bastard with those, weren't you? I'll make sure it's done, old friend."
Player is freaking out because I have 2 ships. What do I do with 2 ships?
I don't know, what do you do with 2 ships? You see Maurice kind of lean back in his bed and like motion for Zantaro, who moves in and helps him shift back down, and he kind of lays on his bed and closes his eyes. He's still breathing, but he's kind of like, that last conversation took a lot out of him, and he's trying to rest at the moment. And
When you see Lilac, I'll tell him as he starts to shift back down. When you see Lilac next, have a drink with her.
I will. I'll also tell her that you said you could take her in a fight, so that way when you join us in the afterlife, she kicks your ass one more time.
I'd rather not. Okay.
Yeah, the chuckle that you get from him is very genuine and pained, but
Yeah, Val laughs for the first time. Not like a hearty laugh, but that was what finally got to him.
yeah, that pained, like, "Oh, you motherfucker" chuckle.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll say you said that the entire time we were talking. And he just smiles, and keeps his eyes closed, and Roderick will stand up. We'll be back, old friend. There's something of minor importance I must tell you, Val. But unless either of you have something to say to him, I think letting him sleep the last few hours might be peaceful. And you get the intent that he's like, let's let him fade in his sleep so that way he's not fading while conscious.
Yeah.
And he'll just kind of motion to the door.
I would rather be out taking action than sitting here watching an old man die.
James has a plan for that.
I'll head for the door. And I'll look at Mistress for the first time since entering the room.
Are your eyes red?
Oh yeah. He's not openly crying, but you can tell there were tears like welled up at the corner of his eyes.
I will give you a slight smile of compassion and empathy, and before going, I'm gonna touch Maurice's leg and just say it was good meeting you. And in Sylvan, give this blessing kind of from her god to Maurice.
May you fade into the dreams, and may they always be peaceful. Oh no, I was just thinking Circle of Dream shit.
I mean, yeah, that sounds good.
Damn, Jake, okay.
I mean, yeah, that sounds good.
Hey, I have very few good moments, okay?
Just off the cuff like that, alright.
I'm good with dramatic one-liners once a week, that's it.
That's it.
You see Maurice open an eye, and he replies to you, "Keep the boy on the right path. He's a good heart, but a child still. He doesn't mean most of the things he says or does. He just doesn't know better." And he says this in a way that you would hear Mistress, but Val wouldn't.
I'm probably out the door at this point.
Yeah. But
I'll pat his leg and walk out.
As you walk out, Mistress, you notice that Xantaro sits down in the chair and holds his hand. And I'm going to tell you what you hear him whisper.
Okay.
What, you're going to cast Inflict Wounds as you pat his leg?
Excuse me.
And Roderick will bring you out of the room and just into the main area and look at you, Val. Not the time or place, but your sister has been... Well, it runs in the family, apparently.
You let Iliad...
She got...
Val turns 90 degrees and takes about 3 steps away, sideways. And just kind of holds his head to the side for a minute. And, 2 or 3 seconds and turns and walks back.
She, wanted a keepsake of you, so you'd always be with her. And she figured a tattoo would be the best idea. So she
And she got a raven and a dagger.
Yes.
You fucking kidding me?
Hey. She's your sister.
She's supposed to be smarter than me.
Only can be so much smarter.
Listen, apparently I set a very low bar.
Not too low, but...
He pinches the bridge of his nose. You say impulse control.
Impulse control is not in your family's strong suit.
No, I'm finding that out. Where is she? Did you bring her with you?
No. I had to come quickly, and wizards are assholes about charging per person through a teleportation circle.
I'm sure you would have paid whatever price it would have taken.
For me, yes. For your impulsive sister, no. She can stay.
No, she's not worth.
One of the
No.
One of the priests is probably kicking her ass while training right now. So, karma.
I hope they don't kick her ass too much because I'll do it when I get back.
I've had a hand in training her, so be gentle. She's sore.
Sore?
Yeah. Slightly flashbacks to the amount of times you've been beaten upside the head with a wooden staff.
Or a nod from across the room.
Yeah.
He just kind of shakes his head a little.
But it is up
Need
to
to cruise
you.
the ship with someone.
In Mistress, as this conversation is going on and you're kind of just standing there, you do see a about 5'10" sandy-haired man with a normal blue-colored just shirt and some loose trousers walk in, nice boots, and he just walks past the guards and walks past the guards in front of Maurice's door as they let him right in.
But I have no idea who it is.
No.
Okay.
Do I notice?
You're caught up in conversation. What's your passive perception?
I think it's 13.
No, you don't notice with the
Yeah,
whole
13.
with the whole being flustered about Ilya getting the Whisper Daggers tattoo. And
Cool.
talking to Xantaro.
Cool.
So, do whatever you want. I need to, well, probably go make sure that everything here is placated with the priests. There will be an uprising when the Marquis hears that his prize hanging victim is dying in his sleep and not a cleric could do shit about it. And he looks annoyed, but like, okay, time to actually do my job now.
The myriad of mysterious ways.
Something.
Roderick,
Yes.
who just walked in?
He'll turn behind. Sandy man, 6 foot tallish.
Yes.
Probably Simon, Xantaro's husband. Maurice attended the wedding, so they're decent friends. But don't intrude. They're old friend.
I wouldn't dream of it.
He gives you that smile that's like, you're a good person. I appreciate you. Like you're that fresh drop of like just that fresh drop of water in that bucket of like, I've been dealing with pirates for fucking 200 years and thank you.
I've been dealing with orcs for like fucking 20 years, man.
Not that he doesn't love the crew, it's just like, finally somebody that doesn't question everything I fucking say.
Right? Meanwhile, Val's like leaning around to look in the room to make sure that's who it was. Do I know if I have time to walk back to Lily's and then back to the temple before it's time to leave?
Yeah, Xantaro would have told you to just meet him at the office, at the guardhouse at 7.
Okay, so I have time to go to Lily's and then go to the guardhouse.
Yeah, you guys can go eat and then go to the guardhouse.
I'll tell Roderick I'll walk Mistress back to Lily's. I don't know if I'll see you before you leave the city, but I'll be with Xantaro tonight.
1 second. And you'll see him pull out of his bag, and it's rather opaque and about 4 inches in diameter each ways, and you notice that it's one of this, not like a scale from his shell, but like how the turtle shells like shed.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those, and he hands it to you. I've never in person met her, but I know you give her some things to collect, so large turtle shell piece might be interest to her. She seems like a curious child.
You'll adore this.
Also,
And-
it means I can check up on her for you whenever she's in her room or near it.
And I will appreciate that more than she will adore this.
He gives you a smile and heads back to one of them, like, starts slowly walking to one of the other offices where you see, that there's a cracked door, and inside you see some priests that are, like, looking stressed.
Before he walks away, I'll stop him and thank him for taking care of Lily for us, and I'll give him a hug.
He'll hug you back, and you feel these... Like, he's big, but you didn't expect him to weigh so damn much. And not that he was, like, setting his weight on you, but just, like, the arms around. You're like, holy shit. I will do what I can. She's a good child. Though the influence of your party might change that. He'll give you just a smile and a chuckle.
I'll turn sideways to put the scale up, and I don't know how perceptive he is, but that would probably be the best chance for him to see the sword. Although I don't know how much of the sword he would take note of since it's in scabbard. But
you saw him eye the sword, but again, he was thinking time and place. He's not going to ask you about the sword.
I'm not pulling it out here.
Yeah, no. So he noticed it, and he noticed that it's new and it's special. But with all the things he has to do, he can easily track you down and ask about the sword at a later date when he's currently trying to convince all of these high priests to basically commit semi-treason.
Murder by omission.
No, the murder they're okay with, or court. It's the lying to the marquis of the city that they're like, yeah, this could get us in trouble, man.
Right.
In response to what Roderick said, basically I'll reply with, she'll be a good kid if I have any say in it.
Well, if they ever act up, just tell me. Watch this. And Val, as you turn back to Roderick, passing inches in front of your face, you see the ends of his staff just, like, barely miss on purpose.
So, Mistress, you've never seen Val really flinch or duck at most anything, but he does visibly, like, 6 inches recoil away.
And Roderick just looks at you with a knowing smile, and he's...
He just takes a deep sigh.
But he'll pat you on the head, Mistress. Actually, no, you're taller than him. He'll pat you on the shoulder.
Probably.
And, yeah, he's like 6'5" or something. He's still large. Like, turtles are still large, but he's not, like, out there in height.
Round, not tall.
Yeah, I mean, he weighs more than both of you combined by 2, I think. His, like, turtles are like 700 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah, that shall
He's fat ass.
But he pats you on the shoulder and then just kind of continues walking off. So you two are left alone in the courtroom. In the courtyard, not courtroom.
Shall we head back? We can talk as we walk.
Talk about what?
Why I brought you here.
As I still don't have an answer.
Well, now's the time for your answer. Come on. And as we walk out the door, I'll start talking. You said... And I don't want to have an argument in the middle of the street, so please be patient and bear with me. But you said that if I treat my friends the way that I did, I deserve the mutiny that we got. That man dying in that room, he's the one that the mutiny was against, not me. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't know about any of this at the time. I was an innocent bystander. I was a stupid child living a dream on a ship. The mutiny was against them, and it was about them, and I just got swept up in it. They're the ones that suffered for it. But I learned something today. I learned what it really means to be a leader. It's not about making decisions. It's not about having people like you. It's not about knowing what to do or any of that. To be a good leader, to lead a crew, it's all about taking the fall. It's about being willing to take the blame. It's about even when it's not your fault, it's about taking fault. Accepting that. It's about being the bait. And he kind of chuckles, like, not happily.
I gave you those rules in the farewell to protect you. And all you had to do was obey them. But you decided to hurt me with them.
I decided to hurt you with them because I felt it was unfair for me to take the blame when Aldum had done something. I don't know what he had done, but he's done something.
And we still
It's
don't
much
know.
worse than what I had done. And I feel like it's still much worse than I did. But I decided that it was not fair for you to blame me. But I realize now I was wrong. And I don't mean to assume the leadership of this collection of people. I don't even know what we are, but if I want to lead, if I want to be a captain like Maurice, I have to learn to accept the blame even when I don't think it's fair. I have to learn to take the fall for others even when it's not right.
So, while you were there for the 2 nights, did you happen to meet?
Hydra?
Yeah.
I saw it once.
President kill you.
I'm sure you wish it would have.
Never. For my clan, respect, loyalty, honor, I think you can all get. But it's also about honesty. So while I yelled at you, Wildemount lied. Somehow, about something. And it's something we have to talk about. So it wasn't just you.
Truth. Truth is the honor of the tribe, and the tribe's honor is above your honor. You wrote those words.
As You are all an extension of my clan, yes. Do you still want to be?
I never considered myself any different. But I need you to understand your clan and your code and your laws, they're not the only ones. And that's not to say that they're not invalid or they're not right or they're not correct, but they exist simultaneously and in tandem with 1,000 other sets, 1,000 other definitions of family. You and I were raised much differently. But I think we both value family over everything else. It's my fault, and I take the blame for not listening to you and not respecting your definition of family. I learned that the mark of a true leader is giving up your life, give someone else a chance. Like I said, taking the fall even when you shouldn't, and even when you don't have to.
I only did it to keep you safe. Just as you instructed me on how to stay on a ship to keep me safe. Or teach me of all these material plane politics to keep me safe. That's all I wanted.
Keep each other safe then. But tonight you keep Lily safe.
And you do what?
I don't know, but I hope it involves a lot of bloodshed.
Yours or theirs?
Either or.
You won't have me to heal you.
It'll be the only time that I don't have you to heal me.
Come back to Lily. Meaning don't die.
I don't think Roderick will let that happen. I will go out on my own terms. I will go out doing what I love. I would go out protecting the ones that I love. But I don't think Roderick will let me go out quite this soon. Whether I disagree with that or not. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going with James tonight to get myself killed. I'm going with James tonight, hopefully, to strike back against the ones that have hurt all of us. I'm not doing it by myself just to prove a point or something. If the rest of you could come, no doubt you would be asked. But this is a little personal. That's all.
You're much more like Maurice than they give you credit for.
You know, when you told me I deserved that mutiny, he was like a father to me. The better part of 10 years. He was the only father I ever knew. I mean, it's because I ran away from my actual father. I'm sure he's living just fine. Poor Tamale, but I was a boy, Mistress. I was a teenager. I barely knew how to wipe my own ass, much less shave my own beard.
Still
He
don't.
could,
Both things.
he could have gutted me on the spot. I had no reason being where I was. I was trespassing. But he either took pity or saw something. I don't know. And
Sorry.
Val looks away.
I'm sorry I said it.
He doesn't meet your gaze.
I will take off my antlers so they don't poke you. And I will try to hug you until you do.
When you pull him into a hug, you can see that Val is crying. Not a lot, and not like openly bawling or weeping or anything, but talking about Maurice and knowing that he's in there dying, and there's nothing he can do about it. Like he always knew that it was going to happen, and he had kind of resigned himself to the fact that he was going to be executed and there was nothing he could do about it. But now that it's happening, there's a few tears rolling down his cheek.
He's doing how he wants to.
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
No.
Come on. Let's get back before your food gets burned. Or eaten. Or both.
Hopefully
And he
not
kind of
both.
like wipes his face a little bit and yeah. We're in public. Toughen up.
As you guys get back to the house, it's sunset, and as you approach the premises, you're both led on without stall, being that you were previously approved by the head of guard, so that way you're pretty much on the list now. And you assume that all of them's probably going to have the hardest time with this whole waiting for this giant lady to give him approval thing.
Mhm.
But you're let in.
If he gets approval.
Mhm.
Oh my god, he
He
almost
has
looks
the
like the people.
stench.
Yeah, he almost looks like the people
Yeah.
that but as you enter the house, you see that Lily's adoptive parents are back, and the table looks to have been set, and food was eaten, but Lily is still sitting there, and Xa's across the table, just kind of vaguely entertaining the family in some way. Doing some.
Oh no.
Yes, you did this.
Oh no.
But Lily jumps to the door and runs and hugs you both and brings you down. And even though Mistress did 90% of the cooking, make sure that everybody knows that she's the one who cooked this meal. This
Oh, 100%.
natural 20 plus, so a 29 god tier food. She makes sure
It
that
could have been more, but yeah.
yeah.
Lily basically like put the oven mitts on and pulled it out of the oven,
Mhm.
and that's all she
100%.
did, and like set the table with plates and whatnot. But she cooked this fucking meal.
Oh yeah, she did. And she sits down and makes sure that you both eat it. It is phenomenal, especially considering, Val, that it is your favorite dish.
I was gonna ask what kind of fish it was.
It is your favorite dish. Chris messaged me before everything happened that that's what she was cooking, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it is better than whatever the fuck you had in Marquette. I think it's Marquette that you got that from, right?
I think it is Marquesian dish.
It's a Marquette
dish, but I've
yeah,
never
but
been there.
it's better than any of the places you've had it on docks or anything.
Yeah.
And whether you give full credit to Lily or give Mistress a knowing look, that's up to you, but
I mean, I give full credit to Lily, obviously, but Mistress knows.
that's fair. Mila's had, it is getting close to the time where you would have to head to Zantaro.
Is that where I take my leave?
Yes.
Okay.
If you guys want to say anything before you leave, do it, but I'm going to try and speedrun the last of this with Bo and get it done within 15 minutes so that way we can go play PG3. Yes, I just
Yeah.
said that on this recording.
Yeah.
Val's not gonna say anything. He'll give Lily a long hug, but he's not much for like last words. And he kind of feels like he just ate his last meal.
Well, shit. At least it was a 29.
Yeah,
Right?
It's your last meal.
But
Good.
like
Good final meal.
I didn't make your favorite food as your last meal.
Fusaka fish, and then he's going off on a solo mission for revenge, and like, yeah, he ain't coming back for this one.
Yeah,
Do you say anything to Mistress?
No,
Fine.
I mean he's not just gonna like sneak out, but he'll give Lily a hug, and that's unless you pull him aside. He's not much one for last words.
Ready?
He spoke a lot.
Yep.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Bye.
Get out. I will change. I don't know if I have any like darker clothing, but I did buy some sets of clothes.
I wouldn't say them darker, but as you get to, if you do change and you get to Zantaro, it'll be like, change back. We need to look normal, not like we're sneaking around. And you still see him in his normal plate armor.
No, I changed into like I have 2 sets of common clothes.
Oh, so you
'cause
just
I
change
bought-
into the less. What-
Yeah, like the less gone to the Feywild and back set. Because I bought a set
Yep.
for
Maurice.
Maurice.
You ever got him out? Yeah.
yeah, I still have that set. So I changed into that set of common, and it's just like regular.
Yep.
It is regular clothes, but
As you get to the guardhouse, Maurice is leaning against the front wall, chatting with his 2 guards out front. And as he sees you, he kind of just nods his head and walks away from the building.
I will leave the bag of holding behind and just take my backpack.
So you're leaving it with the guards and just say, like, give this to my friend?
No, with Mistress.
Oh, okay. So
Back at Lily's. I'll leave the not necessarily with Mistress, but I'll leave the bag of holding there.
you are really like, I might die here.
Yeah.
As you walk towards the center of the Opal Archways. You're not heading outside or anything. You're actually heading to the nicer houses.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're talking, Zantaro goes, what we're doing tonight is not something I prefer to do, but something that needs to be done. And something that will show a little bit of revenge for both of us and let us honor Cord in this time. Keep your head low and don't act until I tell you to.
Val nods. He doesn't say anything. He just nods. He's listening.
The corruption in this city runs deep. The Shadow Hand should not have been able to get in here without permission. There's wards against some magics across the walls and other things. But how they knew exactly Zentaro's or Maurice's cell and other things still elude us. So we're acting against the one person we know has been on their pay and roll, but has been too afraid to attack. And you get to the center of the Opal Archways, the big city center. You've been here a couple times before with way back in the day when you were looking for the Zentarum influence here, and you found the head of the Blacksmith Guild and the assistant to the Seamstress Guild was the last time you were here in a major capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But you do see that building, and as you get to the square and you're like, okay, sweet, he like takes a right turn, and you start walking up to the Marquis's house.
Okay.
And he just gives you like a calm look, and then he looks to you see as you approach, you see this large, like, it's a 2-story house, but the top story only has like 2 rooms that are separated, and you can see like a little room connecting them in the back, and the bottom is just a giant square. And you see 6 armed guards standing out front, and as they see you guys approaching, they ready their spears and shields just as like a who the hell is coming around here this late at night. And as a lamplight lights your guys' face when you walk into it, they all relax for a second, look at Xantaro, and he gives them a nod, and you see them all clutch their spears and shields. Some of them pick up like some water skins off the ground, and they disperse from the entrance of the house.
Okay.
Anything going forward is not going to be that easy. I've taken a long time to get those men to agree to this. We're killing the Marquis tonight.
And everyone in the house?
No reason to kill the commoners and the cooks. We're not slaughtering innocents.
I meant guards, James.
Oh yes, you said everyone in the house, okay?
Well, okay. Val kind of like resets a little bit, like, okay, it's gonna take a minute to get used to working with this guy.
There's gonna be 5 guards in the main room. In his office, which should be up the stairs to the right, there will be him and his son. His son is a part of us against the Zentarum. Hates the corruption that his father has grown into and how it's turned him as a person. So he's under the preface of having a meeting with his son at the moment, which is why his royal guard or high guard is going to be in the main room. From the time we enter the building, we have about 30 seconds to get up those stairs.
Is his son willing to go this far?
Yes.
Alright. He made his choice.
So you're standing at the door at this point in time, and as you look behind you, the market square almost seems like eerily void. Like it wasn't just the guards that Xantaro had leave, but like you remember last time you were here, there were guards posted in front of all of these buildings.
I was gonna ask you if I could make a perception check before we went in.
Yeah, the entire Opal Archways square has seemed to be cleared of guards.
Your lead or mine? Meaning, are you going up the stairs first or am I? Because Val's like, I can get there well before you can.
We need to cut down the guards first. If they run for help, then the people that left can't necessarily stay gone.
I'll take the guards then.
We both take the guards. His son will hold him in the room, but his son can't hold him for long.
30 seconds?
30 seconds is why I'm saying that's why we need that long to get there. If he gets to his bedroom, that's where the teleportation circle is. He can get out.
We're not done with the guards in 12. Go after the Marquis.
Agreed. So.
Map!
So you see doorways, you can see them on the left and right, and you can see the stairwell that leads up. And this is where combat gets interesting, because your DM has to play both sides.
Yeah!
But if I could have you... Oh wait, let me start turn tracker.
Oh, I already clicked.
Oh, nope. Yep, it's... I got it in time.
Yeah, just in time. That nat 1 on initiative, though. I was not ready.
No. You were ready, but you weren't. But you do see a nice interior with dark stone walls and white marble floor. Like, this looks like a pretentious asshole, like, house.
Can I size these guys up as soon as we come in? Do they look like regular guards, or do they look like...
4 of them look like regular guards. 1 is definitely in heavy armor and wearing a knight's attire.
Yeah, but do they look like Shadow Assassin type people,
No.
or do they look like regular guards?
They look like regular guards.
Okay.
You get the idea that, like, if they were to station people like that, like, one of the parts that makes the Zentarum so dangerous is they don't leave little things like that out there.
Also, for everyone listening in afterwards, we don't mean Zentarum, we do mean
Yeah,
Myriad.
fucking Myriad. Jesus, how many times have we said that? This is the problem of running 2 separate campaigns.
5 times since we got to the house.
Myriad. God, yeah, we have said that so much. But as Maurice opens the door and you kick it down, or sorry, as Maurice opens one side and you barge in through the other side, would you have rage before you came in here?
No, because I don't know what's through the door.
Okay. The knight who is on guard, and by their pure note of presence, as you take in the room, the knight's already drawing his sword and coming at you. As in, either they were already, like, tipped off that this was going to happen, or that they're just actually, like, on watch.
I guess if we knock the door down, or if we come in the door and I see them, if you let me rage in that moment.
I would let you rage as you were coming in, just like if you were holding the action to, or the bonus action to.
Okay.
Because like you knew you were about to get into shit, basically.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You were
I wasn't gonna rage outside the door, but like...
No, you were told, like, hey, we have 30 seconds upon entry, like...
Yeah.
He's just short. So the guard is gonna sit back and shoot Zentaro with a heavy crossbow. Which misses. You see, as you shoot, Zentaro pulls his greatsword out and covers his face with his greave on his right hand, and it hits the greave and bounces off. I should have put all of these guards on one initiative order. Jesus Christ. Whatever. This one's going to run up to you, however, and attack. It can easily do that. There's an 18 hit.
I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it does 4 damage reduced to 2 as he runs up and you sidestep it a little bit, but he catches you right on the side of the ribs and it just leaves a shallow cut there. Zantaro, who's named an Acolyte just so he has the health aura for you, is going to give you a just a side look of, like, you've got him. And he is going to run his 30 feet up here. Or he's going to run half of his movement up there. And,
Icon looks badass, too.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, this is the wrong person. I rolled Maurice, not Zantaro.
See that?
Give me 1 second.
But he's just channeling Maurice because we're here on his behalf.
Yeah, they just have very different weapons. He doesn't get Maurice's special magical longsword. He gets this instead.
Oh, nice.
A
19 to you. Please tell me he's a fighter and he crits on 19s.
Is he that type of fighter?
Champion?
Is he a champion fighter? I gotta see that real quick. I've made him so long ago. Fighting style... Yep, improved criticals. He crits.
Go off, James.
So he just walks up. How much movement does he have left? I mean, that one attack just completely shoulder to... swings the blade around and shoulder to hip bone. Just the man barely attached, like, slumps against the wall. So he's about 12 feet of movement left.
Yeah.
But he's in a rush.
I think that was about 20 feet, so I don't know what his movement is.
Yeah, but he has one more attack, and he has action surge. So he's going to action surge to get here, and take out the other guard. Hopefully. I hate Roll20 when it's like this. Or not, that mean D&D Beyond. Okay, so Zentaro's pissed.
Yeah. And I'm getting more and more nervous about living up to this.
So you see him, and he runs in, takes a step as the guard swings past him, cuts one down, jumps off the foot and continues forward and uses his greatsword, and from a downward angle, takes the man from under the ribs and pins him up against the wall.
Nice. Fucking dice, man. They tell stories.
Yeah, they do. This guard, just nervous as fuck after seeing those two fall like flies, is gonna come over here and try and attack him from behind. He doesn't land that hit. I'm rolling amazing with PCs and horrible with NPCs. That's the point. He goes to stab, and it hits a chink in his armor. And Zantaro, as he's doing this, releases the guy from a wall and turns and stares the man in the eyes.
Nice.
Val, it's your turn.
This is not going to be Great Weapon Master, but I'll make it Reckless. And I will bonus action activate the sword.
Okay. That hits for 12.
Yeah.
Just enough. They are just straight up guards. So you do it, and the electricity crackling from the blade comes down on the man, and the strike almost didn't kill him, but like as he's sitting there, he twitches into just like falling over, and his heart stops.
I'll use 35 of 40 feet to get up to there. Same thing. Reckless.
Mm-hmm. Jesus, the roll.
Yeah. And I need him to make a dex save, please.
Yep. Sorry, I was like, where the fuck is that? +0. So he takes 21, 22, 23, 28 points of damage.
And I think it's a bonus action for Great Weapon Master.
Yeah, if you kill somebody, you can use your bonus action to attack.
Yeah, it's a bonus action.
But you
already did the sword. Yeah. I'll use 5 more feet of movement to get there.
Okay. The knight, confused, is just going to attack you because he hopes that his friend is still alive. So he's going to drop his crossbow and pull out his greatsword and make 2 swipes at you. No.
14 doesn't hit. Yeah.
So
even with advantage.
He attacks once and it slams into the floor, and then he tries and sweeps your feet, and you just step back out of the way. And he's in that like low crouch position, and he's looking up at you like, fuck.
Yeah, you put yourself in a shitty spot, dude.
And Maurice is going to take a step this way. And sorry, fucking Zantaro. Too many names in my head. He's gonna attack the guard first. And just cleanly, as the guard's like spear is snapped out of his armor, just reverses the greatsword in his hand and stabs it through his chest, taking it out as the guard slumps onto the stairs. And he's going to... Oh, he can't do that. I was going to say he's going to grapple him and let you just take him out, but you guys are going for time here, so...
Yeah, no. Make it quick.
Yeah.
He gets advantage on this, though.
Oh, he does, so let's see if he can get a third crit.
Oh, so
Run
close.
away! Oh, not good damage, though. As the guard's on the ground, he stands up, not realizing Xantaro's behind him, and he does so in just a way that Xantaro's attack is scraped off of his plate armor, deflecting most of the damage, but not all. No.
21?
Yeah, hits.
That's a lot. How much does he have left?
22. So as he does so, how do you want to finish this guy?
As he's distracted now, harried between me and James, I'll just make it quick, because we're going for time. Shove the greatsword through his midsection, And before he's done dying on the sword, I'm already walking up the stairs. Pulling it out.
He like and he coughs, but Maurice gives you, or Zantaro looks at you and like gives you a nod of like, you can hold your own. Like, he knew you were a competent fighter, but, you know, bonding over battle.
Yeah, I give him a nod.
Oh, I didn't do the walls correctly. Oops.
Whoops.
Zantaro, as you both go up the stairs, he like points to the right.
Okay.
That just rolled.
Yeah.
And you see up to the left there, he had told you before that the left is the bed chambers. The right, as you look through, there's a cracked door. But you got through it.
So is that accurate? Was that 20 feet to get there?
I mean, you guys are out of combat at the moment. It's not going to be. This is just a noble you're going for. But
Okay.
Are you?
I was thinking if I could make it there and maintain rage.
You can if you want. 20. I mean,
that was 20 to get there. It would be another 20 to get in the door.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be able to do it on that turn.
No. You can
actually. I could.
You can move towards an enemy.
For
orcish.
Up to your speed. So that would be 20 there, and then another 40. Yep. So I'll take my second attack. Did Zentoro keep up?
He's not nearly as fast as you, but he would probably be in the doorway. And as you rush in, the sun looks completely and utterly like, the fuck, and you hear Zantaro like running behind you, and he's like, shit, this motherfucker's fast, and as he goes to see you take this swipe, too late, he's like, wait!
No, I wasn't gonna swipe at him.
Oh.
I was gonna grapple him.
Okay, you're gonna go grab him? He's like, don't kill him!
Yeah, I was gonna go grab him.
Okay, make your grapple.
Athletics check, right? Or it's an attack roll to see if I hit?
I think it's an attack roll to see if you hit.
It's been so long since I've done a grapple.
I think it's attack roll to see if you hit, and then he can... How do fucking grapples work? We never do them.
We don't. Hang on. I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
You can use the attack action.
Oh, so you couldn't since you already attacked this round.
Yeah. I would have to make another attack with my attack. Well,
I would say you could.
If you're able to make multiple attacks with attack action, this attack replaces one of them.
Okay, yeah.
So I could. So, make a grapple check instead of an attack roll, a strength athletics contested by athletics or acrobatics.
So you need to beat... Oh, God. Yeah, you... He's like... he's sitting against his desk. He was sitting against his desk, and his son's sitting there like... You can't really tell that well as being enraged, but they looked like me in some sort of minor argument. Mm-hmm. And then all that commotion had happened downstairs like 10 seconds ago, and he had like stood up and was going, and he was like, Father, what's going on? And all of a sudden, you just come through the door rippling with electricity, and just, like, are you gonna just pin him to the desk, or are you just holding him?
No, I've got the sword in my left hand, and I'll wrap my arm around his neck. And, like, I had 5 feet of movement left, so I'll twist around to hold him back, like arm around his neck, so he's facing Zantoro, and I'm holding him there. And I have the sword up, so if he makes any kind of movement, it's like an unspoken threat. If you try to get out of it, I'm just gonna gut you where you stand. Yeah,
and you do so, and he's just standing there, and he's like, I have money, I can give you whatever you want, you don't want to do this? And Zantaro's like, fair. And you'll see Zantaro approach. You had to know this was coming for you at some time, Uladon. Bastards. Not far from the truth. But I think this last part will, really be the one that hits you from left field. And you'll see Zantaro set down his greatsword, and he jams it into the grout in between two tiles, and it stands there. And he looks at the sun, and motions to the great sword, and you now notice the sun fully. Your rage your rage probably wearing out from you at this point in time, since there's been no actual combat for a second.
I attacked. It's still there.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying about this conversation. Like he's not trying to escape either. Like when he tried to escape and you had him in that iron grip, he was like, oh, and now there's two armed men around him.
Mm-hmm. Val's rage isn't. I'm gonna go on a tangent here, but I don't picture it like a grog, bloodthirsty, eyes go red rage either. He's mostly capable of understanding what's going on around him.
Oh, yeah.
He does get lost in his emotions sometimes, but...
Oh, no, I wasn't picturing him as, like, completely and utterly, like, incapable.
Yeah.
It's just...
frothing at the mouth.
You see the sun, like, well... Thank you, Captain. I'll make sure our deal stands through. Father, you should have never allied yourself with these people. Made you so bad, so horrible. And he'll pick up the sword, and you can see he's not strong enough to wield this full outright. And he will hold it upward, and he'll give you like an eye of like, when you move your hand, I'm going to slash my father.
I'm gonna give him a good like 3 or 4 second stare, just to make sure he's capable of what he's doing, and
you see that
not so much capable, but understands exactly what he's doing.
You see that in his eyes there is resolve, but he is pained by doing so.
I'll give him a nod, and I'll release the noble and take a step back.
You see his son do a full slash, and it comes with power and anger. Like he was building up this emotion to just strike now. And you see it, it's a fatal slash. The weight of the greatsword carrying through the clavicle and the ribs down, and you see his father's eyes just go wide as he like grips his chest, and he's like, "What did I gave you a good life." And the son looks at him and goes, "You did. But how many people did you kill to do so? It's not what a leader should be, father." And he'll like go to hand the weapon to Zentaro, and he's like, "It's not traceable back to me. It's traceable back to the people that attacked the city 2 nights ago. They'll figure he was also part of their assassination when they do their investigation. This does not leave the 3 of us of what happened here tonight." And the Marquis is still sitting there, looking at his hands, just in shock and his life leaving him. And Zentaro will look at you and go, "We need to leave before anybody comes. Son."
Give him a nod.
And he'll look at the boy. "Son, as of tomorrow morning, you will be acting Marquis of the city. Remember your allies, and don't fall into their political games. Also remember that if anybody asks, you were whoring tonight. It's embarrassing to admit, but if you're going to embarrass yourself to admit it, it will absolve you of any blame." And the boy has like sunk down to his knees now and is like looking at his hands, but swallows and just, "You're right. It's what needed to happen." And you see that as he looks up, he is crying, and he stands to leave with all of you.
He walks out with us?
Yes. He needs to get the fuck out of this building as much as you guys do.
As we part ways at the front door, I assume we're going to part at the front
door.
door.
Oh no, yeah, the second you guys leave, he's like, deuces, and just runs. Like, not like...
Well, as we get to the front door, I catch his eye and I give him a nod. And I just... "Your Honor, the Wailing Wyvern by the docks." I'll name a whorehouse by the docks.
He'll look and go. And he looks to Zantaro, who just like chuckles and goes, "If you're gonna pick a detestable whorehouse, you might as well pick a sailor's one." I'll make sure the bribes get through that a couple of the ladies were pleasuring you tonight. You did a great thing today for the greatness of the coast. But let's get the fuck out of here before those guards come back. And he will lead you away, and Uladin will run, basically.
Yeah.
But if you have any questions for Xantaro, he will tell you. Do you have any questions for Xantaro, I should say, as you guys walk?
Where's he going?
Back to the guard quarters. Actually, no, he would be heading to his house at this point.
I hate to intrude, but a drink.
Let's go. You can meet my husband and have a drink tonight.
We'll just leave it there.
Yep.
We'll have a drink. We'll toast Lilac. We'll toast Maurice.
What happens the rest of the night is for Val and Xantaro to remember, and that's it.
Pretty much all I had planned.
Yep.
I'm not going to ask any heavy lore questions or anything.
Oh no, I didn't figure
Just
you
gonna
would.
drink.
That was
Yeah.
it was pretty coincide. He let the people in, so you killed him, but thank you for watching. I'm gonna end the recording here. Bye.